All right, so I found another video. This is clearly for anybody who watches basketball. This is Matt Barnes. You would already know that, and he was a guest panelist on the roundtable "Speak for Yourself," and of course, LeBron was the topic of conversation at some point during the show. When I do these videos, I try to keep myself from looking at the entire video before I do a video. I may look at the first 10, 15, 20 seconds of the video to see if the topic is what I'm interested in talking about and if it's worth doing a video about. And, it keeps the dialogue fresh. It doesn't feel like none of the narrative is forced. I like to keep a fresh perspective. And a lot of times I like to be surprised during a conversation. I never want to go into a conversation knowing what to expect, because usually my opinions to myself, I value a lot more than I do the opinions of a lot of these sports journalists, columnists, or just on-air personalities. I try to express my opinion first, my views on certain things, and then I get the other side from, the different, panelists that they have on these shows. But it's just all about fresh commentary, man. I have a certain way of thinking, and I need that to be separated from the way a lot of these guys on these shows, the way they think. So when it comes to LeBron James, as I've already said, I feel like the pendulum swings heavily in LeBron's favor most of the time during these conversations, because everybody is just so in awe of what he does or what he has done over his career. How athletically gifted he is, and how special he is, and how close to Michael. They've been trying to find a substitute for Michael Jordan for so long that in their minds, LeBron James is the closest thing you're going to get to Michael Jordan, I guess, as far as dominance goes. But I wouldn't even really say that LeBron has been dominant, man, because he's lost so much, but I don't think that it should be understated that this dude can carry a team of has-beens, wash-ups, just a bunch of journeyman guys. He could just take a team full of those kinds of guys and just, make a playoff run and potential championship run, which, most of the time, they're never going to win. Most of the time, they're not going to win. So, it's all for naught anyway. But, it's just impressive, the things that I've seen this guy do. With that being said, I believe LeBron James, not 100%, but I believe he deserves a huge percentage of the issues that a lot of his locker rooms, and the reason why I say his locker rooms is because this dude runs the shit. This dude has so much cachet around the NBA that a lot of these owners and a lot of these GMs, they're going to allow this dude to do whatever the fuck he wants to do without impunity. Because he's been successful for so long. And what I mean by successful, I mean regular season wins and long postseason runs. He's been so successful. And I guess the longer your postseason run, the more money the team stands to make. So they're going to get this dude whatever he wants. If he wants to hold the coach ransom, if he wants to almost force this issue on to the GM to get rid of the coach, he can do that. Do I think that LeBron James allows these coaches to coach him that don't have the personality to butt heads with him, or, to just, I guess, act as a buffer to the rest of the players on the team to kind of like shut LeBron down? And the only one that was even close to being able to do that after he left Miami was Tyronn Lue, where I read a report where it said that during practice, I believe it was, where LeBron was just talking while Tyronn Lue was trying to talk, and Tyronn Lue pretty much told him to shut the fuck up and let him do his job. And LeBron seems like the type of guy that you almost have to strong arm him. Like, you have to have the type of personality that LeBron knows he can't push you the fuck around in order for him to listen to you. But do I believe that Tyronn Lue for a second was coaching that team? Hell no. Hell no. He probably was just doing the substitutions and, but I believe LeBron has heavy influence on the way any of the teams that he's on, besides the Miami team. Any of the teams he's on, he has heavy influence in how they're run, how they work. I'm talking about rotations, lineups, the situational basketball, the system that they run, the game. He has an heavy influence on all that. But I'm gonna let Matt Barnes see what he has to say.
Let's start with you. Has LeBron become bored with basketball?
No, absolutely not. Not the right word, not the right terming of what LeBron's going through right now. Like many of players, especially in the latter stages of your career, no matter what your success is, in that moment or previous, your eyes are a little bigger than your stomach. And you start to make some miscalculations in terms of what you can take on because you're a veteran. The ego starts to grow to a place where you're like, I can do this endeavor, and still be me. But the problem is Father Time's undefeated, correct? So when you still are you, LeBron, which is amazing in work ethic and production, you have to be even more of that same LeBron to be the same LeBron, because you're 34 right now. So this is Kobe 2.0 without all the optics of effort. One, they gave LeBron a 4-year contract, and they knew that he was going to tackle more things than just on the court. But that's what the Lakers are based on. Showtime 2.0. They always been a Cayman-based product talking about.
All right, real quick before we get too far ahead in this segment with Marcellus Wiley, who I've already expressed my opinions on Marcellus Wiley and his personality type. This dude comes across as a fan to me. And I mean, as much as I agree with some of the things he says, I mean, sometimes he'll make an argument and I strongly agree with what he's saying. But then there's sometimes he just comes off as a fan. When, you used to be a professional athlete, and for you to be in awe as much as you are, about some of these players is kind of like, do you realize you used to be a professional athlete and you used to compete against some of these dudes that you were so enamored with? All right, so the thing he said about LeBron and him being Kobe 2.0 and Father Time, LeBron, sure. Do I think that he's slowing down as far as his energy level? Sure. Because this dude plays no defense. And he saves most of his energy for the spurts that he has on offense. But I'm still seeing LeBron jump as high as anybody else in the NBA. I'm still seeing LeBron being able to get up high enough to where he could just forcefully throw the ball down, dunk the ball as, aggressively as he wants to. I mean, Father Time don't have that much influence on what's happening with this dude because he still looks athletically dominant. Now, all right, I was watching one of these live streams a few months ago, probably 7 months ago. I was watching one of these live streams and they were talking about LeBron. And it was just a live stream about exalting how great this dude is and all this other shit. And I just threw a little comment in there. And I said that LeBron James literally bulldozes his way through the lane. Like, this dude is so physically dominating. He will throw his body into whoever's in the paint. Like, he'll drive the lane. If there's somebody standing between him and the basket, he'll do like a little weird Euro spin move type thing where his back ends up into the front of the defender where he usually draws his fouls at. And I'm not saying I've ever, taken a screen that physically before because I've played basketball. And I don't think I've ever taken a screen that physically from anybody before because most of the guys I play with isn't the size of LeBron. But a lot of those moves that he do down in the post, they look like they fucking hurt the other person because he literally throws his back, his shoulders into the other players. And which if it's any other regular player, man, that's an offensive foul most of the time. But this dude, he just literally just throws his body into you, and he's so massive, and he's so built, like it just looks like that shit would hurt if he threw his body into your chest. But so I don't think that Father Time has anything to do with LeBron athletically. Now, as far as energy goes, yeah, I believe he's tired, man. I believe his gas tank is running out. I mean, there's nothing he can do to refill that tank. There's nothing, I don't think he'll ever have the energy level that he used to have. And that's the only way that I can see that this dude is starting to get old, is that his energy level is just lower and lower because he's playing less defense. So, I don't know, man. I don't think that this has any... Kobe, I believe his injuries started to accelerate his age when it comes to everything about his game. Being able to shoot, being able to run, being able to post, like just everything. His strength. It just looked like the injuries kind of kick-started his deterioration as an NBA player. Because once he had some of those injuries, like a year or two later, man, like this dude was just not the same person. And you could just tell. It was blatant. It was that cliff metaphor that Max Kellerman likes to throw around. But I don't see the same thing with LeBron.
Championships on the court. Kobe was making rap out. Kobe had that song out when he first got in the league. Remember that? Him and Kareem. What do you mean? It was horrible. He shouldn't make an album after that one song. It was horrible.
All right. And also, they were talking about, is LeBron bored in LA? I don't believe LeBron is bored in LA. I don't even believe LeBron took on more than he could chew. LeBron is a basketball genius. I'm pretty sure somewhere in his fucking mind, he already knew that this team may not be ready for the moment. But I believe that he hoped that they would figure it out. It didn't, when LeBron first went to Miami, which this is a completely different situation, but when LeBron first went to Miami, it took them not even half a season to start to gel. They wasn't able to put it together until the second season, completely. But they started to gel like almost halfway through the season. And when he went back to Cleveland with Kyrie and Kevin Love, it took them half a season to gel. Might not even been that, honestly, but I'm just saying, I'm ballparking it. And at this point in the season, I'm pretty sure LeBron was like, we should have had it click by now. We should be able to figure this out by now. Because you're going to a team with Brendan Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. From what I heard, LeBron was adamant about them resigning him. I guess because he's a three-point shooter, and LeBron loves his three-point shooters, corner threes, spot-up threes. He loves his three-point shooters. But I'm pretty sure he had hopes that they would figure it out and be able to compete. And I'm pretty sure he had a fear that it may not work. So I'm not going to say that he was bored. I'm just going to say that he gambled on his ability to be able to lead this team to the playoffs. And right now it looks like he's failing, but he's not being counted out because we still have maybe 2 months left of NBA basketball. I believe we have about 20 more games left to be played. My numbers could be off, but I believe there's about 20 more games left. So there's still plenty of time for them to figure it out and for him to be able to get this team to the playoffs. But yeah, man, I believe he hoped that they would play better. I believe that he hoped that they would fit. And by All-Star break, when, at that point you realize that maybe this won't work. I don't believe we're going to win with these guys. Even if it's next year, I don't believe we're going to win with these guys. They were ready to auction some of these players off. And they were trying to get Anthony Davis. Magic Johnson was trying to make it happen. But also another thing, man, like LeBron and his company, what is it, Clutch Sports? They gotta watch themselves, man. They getting involved in way too many potential tampering situations. And the last thing they want is for the NBA to have to seriously monitor their interactions. But I believe most players tamper. Shit, you could tamper when you go on the road to another player's team that's about to be a free agent. Y'all go out to dinner, y'all talking it up. Man, anything, So tampering, you can't really stop it. You can't stop it. I'm pretty sure D-Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh at some point during the season before they got together came up with the idea that maybe we should all play together. And this happened way before they became free agents. Sorry, the video got cut off. I don't know if you heard, but I'm gonna go ahead and let them finish.
You hear that song with him and Tyra? Never mind. And this is the same thing that LeBron is going to go through right now. When you take on all those things, as I've told you before, talk show host. Look, I don't care what it is. Look, I was a DJ my rookie year. Not a problem in the world. I was DJing the owners' party. Talk show. Nah, no problem. I had a talk show as well. I did everything until them sacks started disappearing. And then all of a sudden, damn it, what is Marcellus up to? So you can climb up the hill with all this on your back, LeBron, you can stay at the top. But when you start to show any decline, we're going to blame this. So LeBron James is just in the same conversation as many athletes before him. You're biting off a little more you can chew.
Bored? You don't think he's bored?
I don't think he's bored. I think, good point, he may have bit off more than you can chew. But I love the fact that more of an athlete, that's just what today is. You want to take advantage of off the court as long as on the court stays his first focus. I think more than anything right now is you're just seeing father time. You're seeing him coming off his first significant injury of his career. You know what I mean? And then to be thrown back in the fire like, okay, we got to make this push now. I'm going to turn that superhuman button on. But he's coming off an injury he's never had. He's never set out this many games. A completely new team that they just completely try to throw the whole team away. So now you got to convince all these guys you just tried to trade that I'm with you. I believe in you. We're on this same page. Let's make these playoffs. So I just think there's the team is on islands right now. But it's, like I said, I don't take anything away from him.
Did you watch last night's?
Okay, so while watching Speak for Yourself and listening to Matt Barnes talk about the possibility that Father Time is playing a role in the way LeBron is playing, since he had a significant injury, the groin injury, that could be also holding him back from that level that we're used to seeing him play at. Now, he was injured for 18 games, I believe. Yeah, so right here, around the 52nd game for the Lakers, that's when he returned. And that's against the Portland Clippers. That was against the Clippers. Now let's look at his numbers. He also missed the next game. Could be rest, could be just, I guess, getting acclimated to being back. Now let's look at his per game average since his injury. His per games since his injury. Where is it at? All right, so the game that he came back in against the Los Angeles Clippers, his free throw numbers are trash, but he didn't shoot so well from three. He shot 40%, and this is his first game back after missing almost. He came back on the 31st. It's a little over a month. He scored 24 points in his first game. I believe that's 13 rebounds. No, 14 rebounds and 9 assists his first game. Shot 40% from the field, which isn't all that great. He played 40 minutes his first game back from a significant injury. When you have a groin injury, I've never had groin injury, but I knew people that had groin injuries, and apparently it's very hard on your midsection. I would believe that it would be very hard for you to move too much with a groin, coming off of a groin injury. You know, like he missed 18 games. You missed over a month of basketball. And not only do you come back and you play, but you come back and you play 40 minutes. And since he's been back, those 40 minutes and 26 seconds is the second most behind the Atlanta game where they lost, where he played 43 minutes and 3 seconds. And when you scroll up, his minute total that he played, his first game back from his groin injury, the only game that he's played so far this season before the groin injury where he had more than 40 minutes and 26 seconds, there were 2 games. But one game, it was pretty much the same amount of time. The Brooklyn Nets, where they lost, he played 41 minutes and 12 seconds. And another one is up here somewhere, right here, against the Orlando Magic. I'm sorry. He played 40 minutes and 27 seconds. You mean to tell me this dude played the top 5 in the amount of minutes he's played all season? He played on his first game back from a serious groin injury. And now let's look at his per games. All right, his points per games. I mean, his points, in each game that he played since his injury: 24 points, 18 points, 28 points, 18 points, 28 points, 29 points, 27 points, 24 points. For a guy who doesn't pride himself on being a scorer, he's had a lot of 25-plus point games. So that means either he's shooting the ball a lot or he's getting a lot of scores. And let's look at his field goal percentage. The first game he came back against the Clippers, he did shoot 40%, but then after that he played in the 54th game for the Lakers, shot 58%, almost 60% from the field. 52%, 50%, 40% again, 47%, 64%, and then he had against the Grizzlies 34%. From 3, he's not shooting so well, but LeBron has never been a great three-point shooter. He's been spotty at best. But look at this. He shot 6 threes, he made 3 of them, 50% right there. Again, 10 threes, 5 made, 50% right there, 40% right here, 2 for 5. So, I mean, he's shooting them. I mean, this dude is... Look, man, I'm not saying that this dude didn't, without a doubt, he did not have an injury. But I am saying, I believe it's highly unlikely this dude was hurt at all. I believe he seriously left the game to rest. And he may have been doing other things, but what I mean by rest, I mean by not playing basketball. And look at this. Look at his assist numbers. Like, his numbers haven't fallen off. 9 assists, 12 assists, 9 assists, 16 assists, 6 assists, 12 assists, 11 assists. Rebounds, 7, 14, 12, 10, 11, 12, 7, 12. His numbers haven't fallen off. This dude is getting more. He's having multi-steal games. I mean, he's blocked 3 shots, but I mean, he's turning the ball over a lot. That's because LeBron has the ball in his hands most of the time. Look, man, I'm not going to say without a doubt that this dude wasn't hurt, but I believe that this dude wasn't hurt. I believe this dude was not hurt. And if you look at his numbers, like, his numbers haven't fallen off. This dude came off, like Matt Barnes said, he came off the most significant injury of his career because he's never had an injury like this. He's never had a serious injury before. I would think it would be pretty, with his age and the fact that he's never experienced anything like this before, I would think it would be pretty hard for him to just come back and, damn near get a triple-double straight out the gate playing 40 minutes a game. And his numbers just don't look like they're falling off. His shooting percentage seems like it fluctuates here and there. But for the most part, LeBron is playing the same way he did before he got hurt.
Right now. But it's, like I said, I don't take anything away from him.
Did you watch last night's game?
Defense.
Yeah,
I said earlier on the earlier show, my only knock on LeBron is just I'm not asking you to guard the best player anymore, but I'm asking you to be a better team defender, make that second,
That's
third
not boredom.
No, that's just effort.
That's effort, and that's all it is. At the end of the day, effort. It's giving some of yourself to your teammates and making that extra play and leading by example. His team defense is poor right now, and we have to address that and note that.
No, Dante Jones. His defense has been poor for the last few years, not right now. LeBron has been a poor defender for like the last 2 or 3 years. And like Matt Barnes said, it's nothing but effort. He's not doing nothing because he's saving all of his fucking energy to just amass a whole bunch of offensive numbers. He's not doing anything.
It's poor, but you can't say somebody's bored with basketball when he went out there and had 24, 12, and 11. Like, I think we're getting numb to his performances, and you can't go out and triple-double.
That's kind of a weak argument, man, because LeBron is one of those players that he could literally wake up 5 minutes before the game, go in there, and just put up at least 15 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Just straight out of sleep, man. Like, he's one of those players. So, scoring 25 points, like 9 rebounds, 7 assists, I mean, that's not saying that he's having fun with the game. What would show that LeBron is actually into the fucking game, if you want to prove that he's not bored with the game, which I don't believe he is that he actually shows some effort and some enthusiasm on defense. That would show me that this dude is actually into playing with this team. Right now, it just doesn't seem like he's interested. All he's doing is he's putting up his typical LeBron numbers, and then he's blaming everybody else for the reason why the team isn't succeeding. And like most of these motherfuckers out here that have zero accountability whatsoever in life, everybody else is wrong, and he's doing everything he possibly can, and nothing he's doing is wrong.
3-point triple-double and say somebody's bored. He's averaging 27, 9, and 8 for the year. That's not somebody bored with basketball. Now, is he...
LeBron James averaged that every year. If he averages anywhere less than that, like if he's averaging 24 points or 23 points a game, with 6 rebounds and 5 assists, that's a down year for LeBron. What would be a good year for mostly any other player in the NBA is a down year for this dude. So you can't really go off the numbers, man, because this dude has been putting up those numbers his entire career. And at this point, it's almost routine for this dude to put up those kind of numbers. What would make your point is if you say he needs to play better defense to show that he is not bored with the game. That's the only way that you're going to show me that you're not bored with the game, is if you actually show some enthusiasm on defense. Because this dude plays no defense. All he does is he stands around. He stands somewhere where it looks like he's in position to make a play on the ball on defense. But, if you look at the replays, he's just standing there. He's not doing nothing. Like, I was watching a clip and I made a video talking about LeBron, and it was Julius Randle bullying, I believe, the team's power forward in the post, and LeBron was right there, and instead of help defense trying to block, Julius Randle's shot off the glass or something, he's just standing in one spot. Like, this dude didn't move at all. And LeBron back in Miami, he would have ran. He would have jumped so fucking high just to bat that shit off the back of the backboard. But he didn't do nothing. He just stood there and let his teammate get bullied down the post.
Not doing what he's supposed to be on defense, yes, you can address that. Did they take 2 losses they weren't supposed to? Yes, you can address that. But it's not boredom by no means. He has a lot on his plate. You're absolutely correct. But he's also producing. 27, 9, and 8 is not a bored performance. Like, I couldn't do it. 96% of the...
No shit, Dante Jones, because you're not as talented as LeBron James. No shit. If you ever average 27, 9, and 9, you are potentially an MVP. 27, 9, and 9 is normal for LeBron. So it's not a surprise. And that doesn't mean that he's not bored with the game. I don't believe he's bored with the game, but that doesn't mean he's not. You're trying to make the argument through numbers. These are regular LeBron numbers. Even in fucking 2K, if you simulate 5 years, if LeBron is still playing through those 5 years, his numbers are the same. They don't change. This is just what he does. All right, I'm going to make it part 2 of this. But my sentiments remain the same. I'm solid in what I believe. And I'll keep saying the shit, man. I won't sway from this. LeBron is a huge reason why there may be a rift in that locker room. Because the coach is the head. LeBron is the heart and the soul of that team. And everybody else, they're just a specific body part that has a specific function that needs to do their job for the whole fucking thing to work. But LeBron wants to be the legs, the arms, the heart, the soul, the head. He wants to be every fucking thing. Because if he does more, then it looks like he's doing everything he possibly can, even though the quality is not there. It's just about quantity, not quality at this point with LeBron. And that's my biggest gripe with this dude. Like, you're super talented, you're incredibly intelligent when it comes to basketball, but yet and still you find ways to alienate the coach, your teammates, the fucking front office, the whole franchise as a whole. Shit, sometimes even yourself. And that's it. You know, like, and at this point, you just gotta be used to this shit, man, because this is normal LeBron narrative. But, all right, man, I'm out.